How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, this is our royal, but she is truly a queen too as well. Simone Biles. And she has numerous medals. And I know many people in the royal family did see her win her gold medals in the Olympics. Now, my royal family, as you can see, the time that I'm putting on this video, I'm taking my time for a reason. Now, I had did 2 videos a few days ago, and they were lengthy videos. I devoted a lot of time exposing the pedophile or the child molester or the rapist or the beast or whatever you want to call this thing. And they were caucasoids. That's all y'all seen. Now, most of us know that Gabby Douglas and Simone both was abused by this beast right here. And in this system, they normally show the Caucasoid race as the one that's always being subjugated, always being abused, and they benefit because of the system that they live in, that their story will get out and people care more about their pain and their plight. But when it comes to us, we're supposed to take more pain. You know, we're supposed to be subjugated. No, none of that. I totally reject that. And so I was irritated with self because I wanted more. I wanted to hear from Gabby and I wanted to hear from Simone, and they were reluctant. And I can understand that, and I can respect that because of the abuse that they have endured. And then they happen to be a public figure. That's hard. But my attempt and my goal on this channel, my royal family, is I like to do expose videos. I like expose where we are represented. And sometimes they're not easy because it's our own that you have to expose. And I'm doing an exposed video now because we are always the last to know, or they'll put it somewhere way back. And so I had to piece this together, but I feel like I did an excellent job because I want to present the face of, I feel like we get abused more than anyone. And so there's shame with it, ridicule with it, and it's like re-raping the victim when it comes to us. It was like when our queens was raped by that Chinese dude. You didn't see any of the women's rights groups come out at all to support these black women. And that was what they're supposed to do in this system. They are not supposed to support us at all. They are staying on code. We are supposed to do our due diligence for our own people. We cannot expect this system to do the obvious, and we need to get away from that. So I was sitting there and I was just, meditating and tripping off. It was like, damn, I didn't put up 2 videos. I want the voices, our voices, to be heard. I want the victims to be heard, because this system dominates everything. And then since this system is dead, they're going to give the illusion that it is alive. And they don't care nothing about our pain and plight. And I understand why. Because I understand that we are in a war. And war is not fair. So we have to counteract, in which a lot of us have done out here in the world of social media, and show the contradiction, show the delusions, the lies, everything. So since we are in the age of exposure, then we need to get our grind on and expose the beast. I consider myself one of the best at it. And there are many, because I'm also, or just like you, I can't wait to different people that I have subscribed to on YouTube to expose it. Now I'm deliberately, my royal family, taking my sweet time. Usually I trip off of time. So I'm repeating myself, because I said it in the beginning of it, because I want to make sure that maybe one of our royals, male or female, will see that Simone is a victim of sexual abuse, of mental abuse. So if anybody is irritated because I have taken my time, step. So I know y'all can fully understand my level of irritation, because I'm looking at like, wow, you made sure you put these Beckys out here and they got their plenty time on the True Royal family. And I kicked myself for that, but it was still necessary too as well. See, that's where I will do the self-assessment of self. We all been affected by the system. Knowing what I know, knowing what you know, we still are, is, and continue to be subjugated. And we have to continue to battle through it. So anyway, as I continue on, my royal family, that's a beautiful picture of Simone. I purposely and deliberately went out of my way to find a picture of her wearing the royal colors. Oh yes, I did. Just about everything that I do, there is subliminal messages. So anyway, my royal family, before I start these videos, I have 3 short videos to play the royal family. I have a letter to read that Simone wrote, very passionate letter. And I will make sure that I will pin it too if somebody wants to read the article with it. But the letter is more important, and also we can hear her voice. So she did this January 15th, 2018 at 1:22 p.m. Most of you know me as a happy, giggly, energetic girl, but lately I felt a bit broken, and the more I tried to shut off the voice in my head, the louder it screams. I'm not afraid to tell my story anymore. I too am one of the many survivors that was sexually abused by Larry Nassar. Please believe me when I say it was a lot harder to speak first those words out loud than it is now to put them on paper. There are many reasons that I have been reluctant to share my story, but I know now it is not my fault. It is not normal to receive any type of treatment from a trusted team physician and to refer to it horrifyingly as the special treatment. This behavior is completely unacceptable, disgusting, abusive, especially coming from someone whom I was told to trust. For too long, I have asked myself, was I too naive? Was it my fault? I know now the answer to these questions. No, it was not my fault. No, I will not and should not carry the guilt that belongs to Larry Nassar. And then she got here capital USAG and others. I don't know what that stands for. Let me scroll on up here. It is impossible, difficult to relive these experiences, and it breaks my heart even more to think that as I work towards my dream of competing in Tokyo 2020, I will have to continually return to the same training facility where I was abused. After hearing the brave stories of my friends and other survivors, I now that this horrific experience does not define me. I am much more than this. I am unique, smart, talented, motivated, and passionate. I have promised myself that my story will be much greater than this, and I promise all of you that I will never give up. I will compete with all my heart and soul every time I step into the gym. I love this sport too much, and I have never been a quitter. I won't let one man and the others that enable him to steal my love and joy. We need to know why this was able to take place for so long. And to so many of us, we need to make sure something like this never happens again. As I continue to work through the pain, I kindly ask everyone to respect my privacy. This is a process and one that I need more time to work through. All right. I'm glad that our Queen Simone put that letter together, and there is a lot of young little ladies, little royals, Simone, that admire and watch you and are big fans of you, and you're helping. And I know that you know that, because I know that that was not easy for you, Simone, to put that letter together and to be violated by a beast. I cannot simply imagine what you are dealing with mentally, and I pray that in 2020 that you are able to rise above the tyranny that you had to endure in the very facility that you were violated, my queen. I truly do. So anyway, my royal family, I have 3 videos, and I'm just gonna let them rock, and then I will close it out.
Simone Biles has joined the list of athletes accusing former USA Gymnastics team doctor Larry Nassar of sexual abuse.
Yeah, the 20-year-old gold medalist wrote this in a letter shared on Twitter Monday afternoon. Now, part of it said, "I too am one of the many survivors that was sexually abused by Larry Nassar. Please believe me when I say it was a lot harder to first speak those words out loud than it is now to put them on paper. There are many reasons that I have been reluctant to share my story, but I now know it is not my fault."
Really a bold statement and coming out with things there. She called Nassar's behavior completely unacceptable, disgusting, abusive. She says she was told to trust the disgraced physician. So really telling a heartbreaking confession from her.
Yeah, and she says that she's currently struggling with the fact that she'll train for the 2020 Olympics in the same facility where she was allegedly abused.
Biles' Olympic teammates, Ali Raisman, Gabby Douglas, they are among the over 140 women and girls who have accused Nasser of sexual misconduct.
And now this week, Nasser will be sentenced in a Michigan federal court on 7 counts of criminal sexual assault, which he pled guilty to in November of 2016. Now, this is reported by CNN.
All right, my royal family.
Walmart presents 28.
Take that down. Excuse me for that. And let's continue.
I was emotionally ready for that, to go see him again, because I don't know, that would just not be good. So I think emotionally I decided that because I need to be in a good place, especially in my gymnastics. Most of the time I was in practice whenever the court was happening, so I got to see some of my friends speak, but other than that, try not to think too much about it because I was training, so I had to focus on that. If I went there, I think it would take me back, and I'm trying to move forward, so it would just be steps behind instead of steps forward.
Well, you know what, Larry? I have both power and voice, and I am only beginning to just use them.
I think it was very brave, it was very inspiring because she's a big voice for the gymnastics world and the community, so I think she does very well speaking about it. It's just very powerful to watch.
The Board of USA Gymnastics says all its members, all of them, will resign after a request by the U.S. Olympic Committee.
I think if they didn't resign, there wouldn't be change, and I think change needs to happen. And I think there just needs to be further investigations to see why this happened for so long, because you don't know who knew what when. So until we get to the bottom of all this, I think that's when change can happen. It's been very difficult, and I have a very difficult time talking about it still, but the reactions that I've gotten from family, friends, and all of that stuff has obviously been very supportive, especially from the fans as well, because it's kind of hard to break that news to them, because they put you so high up in their books, and you don't want to change any of that, or that be the title that they know me by in the end. Especially for other girls that have gone through these situations. I would say don't feel ashamed to speak out. A lot of us thought it was our fault, and it's not our fault. So once you realize that, I think you can already move forward.
Okay.
At Farmers, we've seen almost everything.
We talk about Larry. There were audible gasps because people have an investment in you, an emotional investment in your well-being. You came out and said he will no longer have the power to steal our happiness or joy. Did he steal your happiness? Describe the effect he had on you.
Yes, I think for elite athletes like some of us that have gone through this hard time, I think we're very good at compartmentalizing things. So I think we just tried to push it in the back of our heads that it didn't happen to us. But once you realize, you know, it happened to you, it's very saddening. I remember just like bawling my eyes out, and I was driving at the time, so it was very hard because for the longest time, my parents would ask, hey Simone, like they would never push me to talk about it, but my automatic response was no. And I would be angry, and I didn't want to talk about it because I'm like, no, it couldn't happen to me. Like, there's just no way. And then you just come to realize that it has happened, and I think that's when I broke down about it, because nobody wants their daughter, or just even as an individual, to have that happen to them. So it feels like he took a part of me that I can't get back, so I'm still working on that part. So it's very hard.
Mm-hmm. It's hard. No one likes to think of themselves as a victim. You know, that word itself can be disempowering, especially to someone like you who is a champion.
Yes.
I know you said for a time you blamed yourself, but you said, I know now it is not my fault.
Yes.
It's not my fault. You know there are women out there right now who may be struggling, and maybe boys and men too. You know, definitely.
Yes, a lot of us.
To those who are doing that to themselves right now, what do you want them to know?
It is not your fault. Because some of them, it's called a grooming process, and I think that's what he did. So the main part that he took away from me that I'll never get back is trust. And so I think it's very hard for me to trust some other people, and I find myself even walking down the street or being in places, I'm just very scared. So I think that was the main thing, but it'll all come back within time.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, my royal family. That's what I wanted to add, my royal family. I had listened to some deep testimony that I chose not to put up because I wanted to know the details of what this creep did. And some of the details that I got was he had convinced the staff, the parents, the clients at the university that he had a new technique that he could come up with, because, you know, these girls, they get injuries, small injuries, because they're pounding on their body a lot. And, you know, they might tweak their back or pull a muscle. And, you know, he claimed that he could, you know, help them with that. And this sucker, this is the part that blows me back. He would stick his hand deep up in their vagina and do like a scoop motion, like he was making adjustments, like it was necessary to stick his hand up in these girls' vagina. And also, it was necessary for him to stick his hand up in their anus. And I was like, damn. And there was times that he even did it while the parents were in the room, but it was all explained way before the young ladies came in, that these things had to be done and that it was necessary for him to stick his hand up your vagina to make adjustments. Me, that would not have happened to my daughters. Not at all, or my sons. That don't even compute in my psyche. I don't give a damn what PhD you have. I have family members with PhDs. Some of them out of their fucking mind. And I'll question them too. So this is the things that we have to do in this system. This is what my father taught me. Do your own thinking. I mean, one of the young ladies said at 15, she had never been touched by a male at all, sexually. And then he's all up in there playing up in her vagina and making these scoop motions. And then eventually, and then like when he would do it, he would, you know, be behind you where his penis is all up against your ass. And then he's making these scoop motions. And then, you know, he would be up in there for, you know, first he would just do it real quick. And then the thing that got me, sometimes he didn't wear gloves. Sometimes he would wear gloves. He'd bring KY jelly and everything. I know this thing is graphic, what I'm saying, my royal family, but I just wanted to give the royal family a picture of what this nasty motherfucking cave beast did to our royal daughters. Because remember, it happened to Gabby too as well. So anyway, Simone, heal, my queen. I know that you will always live with this, and you will never be 100% because you have been violated. But I appreciate what you have done. I appreciate your duties and your responsibilities to the royal family. And I will continue to keep you in my prayers, and all of our royals that are dealing with sexual, mental, physical abuse. Truly, you are royal. You are a champion. You are a powerhouse. So my royal family, I may devote more time to it when the spirit hits me as I'm on my ventures and I'm doing my research to give more exposure to sexual abuse. And as I'm thinking, I also want to put a spotlight on our royal sons being sexually, mentally, and physically abused as well. I don't want to leave no stone unturned on this channel. That's why you see a variation of all type of stuff, because I'm always in my mind thinking things that will help us, because this thing called life, and life can be very beautiful and life can be very ugly, and sometimes we have to deal in the dark side of life, and this is dark and daunting to deal with, but it must be dealt with. And like I said, where we in the royal family put a spotlight on our stuff, because that is our duty and our responsibility, and we cannot depend on this dead system to do our bidding. No. I don't want nothing from them. Don't need nothing from them. They have hurt us enough. So anyway, my royal family, I know some people have had to deal with this. If you like to share your story, share your story. And this is what I would ask. If anybody want to share, male or female, please be respectful. And if you feel something negative, it's just better not to make a comment at all. And I will scrutinize every comment, and I would also ask the mods, if anybody is opening their heart on this channel and you see something derogatory, please get rid of it too as well, because it's a lot of work dealing with this channel. So anyway, my royal family, do what you always do. Render your beautiful divine voice with your words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.